Hello and welcome back to the mothership in Renton, Washington. Joining AJ Soccer and myself, Mox Ruby, is Krzysztof Marek, who played here in this tournament. Krzysztof, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
You had a super interesting standard deck that we definitely wanted to touch on, which is Grixis Tempo, so we're going to take a look at that deck in just a second. But you qualified for this through the Sunday Super Series that was in GP Utrecht, which was Modern Masters 2.
Yep.
One of the very few, if there was another, there was one other qualifier through Modern Masters 2 Limited. How did that go? You must have been quite the master of Modern Masters 2.
Well, I just love the format. Before the GP itself, we were playing a lot of Modern Masters Limited in Warsaw with really good limited players then, and I just got there 6-3 the day one. So
Sure.
I was like, okay, play the Super Sunday Series. And then got the pool, top 8'd, drafted well.
Perfect.
Good consolation prize.
Yeah.
Now, if you 6-3, you're not playing the Sunday Series. Now, with GPs,
you
can
day two now.
6-3 and play in day 2 if you want to. Or you can just play the Sunday Series. One of the
Yeah, or just drop and sightsee.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of sightseeing, you got to come here, and this is your first major qualification, is that right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting. How do you like this this tournament format?
Well, great. Like it's similar to Pro Tour. We have a draft and constructed then. I really like the format. I hated Battle for Zendikar itself, but with the Oath, the format changed, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, and with that change, you got a lot of new cards, not just for Limited, but also for Standard, which we're going to take a look at right now in your Grixis Tempo deck. So we haven't seen anything like this in Standard yet. Tell me about how you got to what you're doing here with so many prowess triggers and the 3-color mana base.
Well, first of all, the 3-color mana base is just better than straight 2 colors.
Interesting.
Because of the Tangoland and Fetchland interactions, there's no Tango in blue-red.
Sure.
In order to make the Fetchlands be able to fetch both colors, we need to play Smoldering Marsh and Sunken Hollow. When we start that, we have something like 10 free sources, and
Might as well.
yeah, with 10 free sources, it's easy to splash the black, and the black is very powerful. I only play 5 black cards in the main, but they are very good in certain matchups, and in the metagame I was expecting. And after the inclusions, like, it's just easy to get the black mana, and I wouldn't play this deck without the good mana base. Because it's
absolutely.
very important to be able to curve out, and you usually need 3 red sources to really combo off. Like 2 are okay, but 3 are crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're running Duress, which is good. You're running Murderous Cut, which is good, but you wouldn't do it unless it was pretty much absolutely free.
Yeah. Duress is like great versus the Eldrazi Rump deck, rarely. And what's also great about this, a lot of decks in format right now have only like 1 removal spell, usually in your hand. You can Duress in the beginning, and then just combo kill them.
Nice.
Speaking of combo kill, let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about Temur Battle Rage, which has been around for a little bit with its partner, Become Immense.
Yeah.
This deck has no Become Immense, has no green mana, but we're still running Temur Battle Rage.
It's like a baby version of Become Immense Battle Rage.
Of course, we still have Titan Strength and lots of prowess guys, but how big can you go with this deck?
Well, dealing 20 is pretty easy.
Okay.
Like you need 1 prowess creature, and then 2 Titan Strengths and a Temur Battle Rage. Important thing is that you don't need 2 Titan Strengths. You need Titan Strength and a Jace.
Ah, right.
Jace here is just a bonkers, because he's a Merfolk Looter. He lets you get the cards you need, loot away the extra lands, or search for the lands you need, get the extra combo pieces, like you're looking for a Temur Battle Rage, extra pump spell, maybe some disruption like a Duress, because you aren't sure if you are clear to go or not. And then you can flip it and just flashback Titan Strength or some burn spells. The main deck is running 6 burn spells. I chose to play 4 Wild Slash instead of any impulses, because going face is really crucial. Like sometimes you just
Sometimes you just don't have a target.
even though it's just easier to kill your opponent. Like there are some games when the Wild Slash is 4 damage with the double strike, and then you untap minus Jace one more time and deal the last points. Reach is very important because sometimes we just aren't able to get exactly the damage you need, especially that you aren't running so many lands. So you just have a limited amount of spells you can cast during one turn. The same is for Exquisite Firecraft. It's also very
That's
good.
a lot of damage, especially when you're flashing it back.
Yeah, 8 damage from one card. It can't be countered. It comes sometimes. And what's also important, it can kill Mantis Rider and Offensa.
Yeah.
Gideon. There's the few cards that I'm afraid of because they can kill me fast, and I won't have time to kill my opponent. I have to scalp my hand sometimes, especially if opponent has a disruption or I just mulligan.
I think we've buried the lead on the new cards long enough. We've got 4 copies of Storm Chaser Mage and 2 copies of Expedite in the main deck. Storm Chaser Mage, I think, of the uncommon cycle in Oath of the Gatewatch, has the best chance to break through in all of the constructed formats, not just standard, but even older formats as well.
Yeah, truly I agree. I believe in him in Modern. And also I would like to mention Expedite, because this card is not only an easy way to trigger Prowess, it has some great synergies. Flipping it of Abbot on turn 3 is great, but also in some matchups when you're expecting your opponent to have a lot of removal, you can just play Jace with mana up and 3 cards in your graveyard. They try to kill Jace. You give it haste.
Put a 4th card in the graveyard.
Loot, flip him. There are some matchups where it can be just crucial. They use their very good removal spell, and for nothing. You lose no cards, and they are just like hopeless.
That's pretty great.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
Expedite Jace is a really awesome interaction.
You can just draw a card when there's nothing to do.
Yeah,
absolutely. And so you have a couple new cards. We're going to move over to the sideboard in your 75, which aren't on the starting block, but we have a couple of new cards as we move over there. We have 4 copies of Kozilek's Return.
Yeah.
This is a card that I wouldn't exactly anticipate seeing in a deck that you would quantify as aggro. You know, Abbot of Carol Keep, Kozilek's Return, not usually the best of friends. Why do we have 4 of those in the sideboard?
Well, there's just one thing. I was expecting also quite a lot of mono red this tournament, because red is good versus it's okay versus Eldrazi right now, and it's still okay versus the Rayleigh deck. So I was worried about that, and this deck is bad versus red. They are faster, they go wide, they have Atarka's Command, which is just like a lot of damage, and they have some removal, so we can go off so easily, because they usually kill our turn 1 Swift Spear. Kozilek's Return is just great because only 1 creature dies to it, Abbot of Carol Keep, which is the weakest creature versus mono red, because it's a 2-1, so it's trade with all the Goblin tokens. And one of the plays to win with mono red is turn 2 play Storm Chaser Mage or just have a Swift Spear, and turn 3 block their guy. They use Atarka's Command and you clear Kozilek's Return being an instant.
Oh, by the way, that's an instant.
Yeah, that's the crucial part. I would play Radiant Flames without this interaction, but here you can just wipe their board as an answer to the Atarka's Command or Goblin Bushwhacker. The new Bushwhacker, and that's great, but it's only for like 1 matchup. Also, you can set some of them versus like Esper tokens. Some strategies that you can use it for, but it's just for mono red.
It's a pretty good catch-all. Another one that's a surprising card that I see in your sideboard is Unnatural Endurance. Back in my day, I used to have to pay 2 life for Boon of Erebos.
And we were happy to do it.
And we were so happy to do it. Now you have Unnatural Endurance. Tell me what purpose this card specifically serves.
Well, as you said, I don't have Becoming Manses. And there are matchups where I just need to combo off. This deck is playing 3 Temur Battle Rages main and the 4th one sideboard. Most deck lists I have seen online play like 1, maybe 2. For me, it's wrong because versus Rayleigh, you need to combo off. Versus the ramp deck, you don't have to, but it's faster. And versus other decks like Abs and so you just need the combo. And there are matchups when just you need extra pump spells. And Unnatural Endurance is great because it's a pump spell, a bit worse than Tidal Strength, but it's still able to protect your guys. And just a Titan Strike number 5-6 in some certain matchups. There are matches which just bring the 2 Endurance and the Temur Battle Rage just to go full combo.
Yeah, just turn your deck up to 11.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some counter spells for protection.
Yeah, counter spells like Duress Main is great versus game 1, but sometimes you just want to switch it for Dispel, because Duress can't protect your combo when you are going off. Also, the great thing in that deck is Treasure Cruise is an Ancestral Recall, usually.
Yeah.
And the third one inside just to swap for the Murderous Cuts in the decks where you just don't care about their creatures.
But you still want to use your delve.
You just want to, and you just want to go off. Like Treasure Cruise for 1 mana, usually like when it's turn 4 or 5, can be usually a kill, because you draw like the locking combo piece.
Right.
So that deck has a lot of spells, a lot of synergies happening, a lot of prowess triggers. Why did you elect to go with something so rogue in this tournament?
Well, first of all, my expectations of the tournament of the decks played here, after Reed Duke won the GP with Rayleigh, it was pretty obvious that it's the best deck in the format right now, and it got 2 great cards from the Out of the Gatewatch. So it was the deck to beat, and then there's the ramp deck. The red-green Eldrazi strategy, I tested a lot before tournament, and it was very powerful. The Cosmic Return changed completely 2 bad matchups. Like the mono-red right now is a winnable matchup. Like if you gave enough sideboard slots for Jaddi Offshoots, you can easily win that matchup. And also the Cosmic Return is great versus Abzan. The Exile trigger, you can't even use a Tromkas command to prevent the damage because it's not cast, it's not the sorcery on the stack. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So I was at the beginning I was set to play the ramp deck, but first of all the matchup with the Rayleigh was bad.
Sure.
And then I met this idea, the Grixis tempo prowess combo.
Sure.
And I was sold on this because the matchup with the ramp deck was like great. Like they had a lot of sideboard slots for the mono red, but this deck doesn't care about Jaddi's Offshoots. Doesn't care about Arashin Clerics. Where players are bringing Arashin Cleric against me, I'm like, okay,
all right, sure, man.
Yeah. I will go off for 30 damage, not 20 damage this turn.
Exactly.
And you waste the card.
Right. AJ, this is the kind of deck that we wanted to see come out of this format. We wanted to see innovation. Stormchaser Mage is a super powerful card. Do you think that this is just the beginning for Stormchaser Mage?
It is. Stormchaser Mage and cards like it are so interesting because they're better in bigger card pools. So I think we're actually going to see more of that card in Modern than we do in Standard. But the fact that it's seeing play in Standard means that it is clearly above that power threshold of playability.
Absolutely raises the bar. Now I wanted to talk real quickly about Polish Magic.
Yeah.
Polska Magic is a website that I only go to every once in a while when they have a preview card. But I'm sure it's a big deal in Poland, and you said you're part of the Warsaw Magic community, drafting and stuff like that. Tell me a little bit about the scene in Poland.
Well, the scene is spread out. There is no like one big team that's connecting the entire country, and the community is just like building right now. There is a lot of new players coming to the starting playing Magic, starting to play more competitive. Mm-hmm. We are getting more and more slots in the Pro Tours. We right now have a gold level pro, Maciej Janik, and with whom I also was preparing for the tournament.
Good.
And we are just trying, and I hope that in a few years, or even months, there will be much more Polish players in the big tournaments, in the top 8s. We made 3 top 8s first in the last year. So yeah, I think the community is growing. And we're playing all the 3 most relevant formats: limited, standard, and modern. So.
Excellent.
There you go. Blossoming format, or blossoming community in Poland.
Absolutely. So keep an eye out for more Polish Magic coming on the Pro Tour. Krzysztof Marek of Poland, thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you.
We're going to have more coverage here of the Super Sunday Series finals here from Wizards of the Coast headquarters with AJ Soccer and myself, Mox Ruby. See you soon.